like two-faced people. And I'm not saying you are two-faced, but it's going that direction. And I was like, oh wow. You were
I gotta be honest, this is not my first rodeo. I did a video a couple of months ago about selling the OC, and it just didn't feel right not going back to where it all started, with Christine.
I just don't respect her.
I think it's fair to say the reason Selling the OC even exists, and the only reason that we got season 2 through 5 of Selling Sunset, is because of her. And considering Netflix is spitting out these reality shows about realtors in LA, it's only fair to credit her for their success. Oh, and if you don't know what Selling Sunset is, click out of this video and run.
When I ask you, what did you say?
Don't yell at me.
When I ask you,
Okay,
what
hold
did
on.
you say?
Save yourself while you can. Just kidding. Selling Sunset is a reality show about realtors in Hollywood who work at the Oppenheim Group.
So we just need something bigger, and it doesn't need to be huge, just like 10,000 square feet at least.
That's huge.
Yeah, it does not get more evil than this. The show begins season 1 with 7 realtors, plus a few others who come and go as the seasons progress. Brett and Jason Oppenheim are the co-founders of the Oppenheim Group, and they are twin brothers, and they only hire women. Specifically, women they date.
And how long did you and Jason date?
I mean, it depends if you include like the breakup period.
But we'll get into that. In the beginning of the first season, we meet Chrishell Strauss, who is an ex-actress turned real estate agent, and is initially the most recent addition to the Oppenheim Group. She was previously married to actor Justin Hartley before they got divorced in season 3, and it was a mess and it caused a lot of fights, but we don't need to get into that right now. And by season 5, Chrishell ends up dating her boss, Jason.
Then Jason and I became best friends. Then we became more than friends.
But they end up splitting up by the end of the season because he just cannot commit. It's hard to pinpoint my exact feelings towards Chrishell. Even though Chrishell is supposed to be our main character, as she's the first one we are introduced to as an audience, I can't help but feel somewhat indifferent towards her. She's never been a super interesting character, or should I say cast member. Sure, she sells a few homes and has definitely established herself with the group, but in terms of entertainment, I honestly think she's too nice for reality TV.
She named the drink the Two-Faced Chrishell. Okay, you know what? Actually, it's Chrishell's Two-Faced Tonic. I'm sorry.
She becomes the target of many dramas when we start season 1, specifically with Davina. Honestly, the biggest joke in real estate. I mean, the memes that have been made from Davina are just incomparable, bro. The one and probably only thing that you need to know about her is she tried to sell an overpriced $75 million home for like 2 seasons straight and never succeeded. Jason kept telling her that it was a bad listing, but she was just so confident, and she shouldn't have been.
I think that we can.
Well, we have to
Figure it
agree
out.
on this. You can't just do it. I want to make a coffee.
In fact, because she couldn't sell the home and looked so much like a joke, she ends up joining a rival agency during the 3rd season. And guess what? She comes back to the Oppenheim Group the next season. Bro, just take the L, Davina. I genuinely just cannot take her seriously. And aside from her poor real estate skills, her personality is meh.
At least I'm like direct, you know, like.
Wow.
I mean, she is very dry. Not just dry humor, like dry personality.
It says a lot more about her than it does me, so I'm not even upset. I just think it's sad that she had to stoop to that level.
She's friends with Christine during the first few seasons, but quickly turns on her when she rejoins the office. Unfortunately, Davina just wants approval from the masses, especially by season 4. So she'll just say and go and agree with whatever the majority thinks.
You know, hope that you have my back. I mean, I'm here on a new, you know, starting a new chapter.
Stepping back a little bit, let's elaborate on a more minor character, Heather Ray El Musa, who was originally Heather Ray Young. And she is interesting.
You don't have to be your friend to like see what's going on and realize that that's not fair. But you're not my friend? I mean, not yet, bitch, but... What?
Heather is a really sweet girl who is always looking for love. I mean, honestly, I don't know too much about her ability to sell homes because I feel like we've never really seen her sell one, or maybe she's just sold one. The only memory that I have of Heather is when they staged a home in season 1 and it got completely messed up.
Something went wrong in our communication because this is not what I wanted.
And then she spends the entirety of the series just talking about her boyfriend and wanting to get married, to which she finally does. She's definitely a smaller character on the show compared to the others, but essential nonetheless. Mary Fitzgerald. She is an enigma. She actually used to date Jason, the owner, a while back, before Chrishell did, but apparently things are completely platonic between the two, despite them having a dog together, named Zelda. Not gonna lie, their dynamic is a little sus considering they're working like 24/7 and they're really close even now as friends, but good for you, I guess. I just wouldn't want to be Romaine, her current boyfriend. In my opinion, Mary is the best one at her job. She sells more houses than anyone and is honestly a boss realtor.
They can do what they want. You know what? It's a shitty offer. Pull
It's
it.
not a shitty offer.
Yeah, it is.
And even though she 100% deserves it, Jason is definitely playing favorites when it comes to the listing because of their past.
Is Jason giving Mary another listing?
Favoritism at its best.
Initially, she started off as best friends with Christine, but that quickly changed when Chrishell joined the group.
Yeah, they said that about Ted Bundy too.
Maya Vander is an Israeli real estate agent who has a cool accent. Throughout her 5 seasons on the show, she has like 3 kids, and every time we see her, she's pregnant with the next, but good for her. She was definitely more of a main character in the first couple of seasons, but as she's constantly going back and forth to Miami to be with her husband, she's not on the show as much. I've noticed that Maya can be somewhat of an instigator.
Let me know if you need help.
Okay.
She probably does.
Christine, didn't you just get ditched by a $5 million buyer?
She is the one character who is always neutral and friends with everyone. But who do you think is transferring the messages from one group to another? Maya, the neutral one. I do enjoy her on the show, but again, she's not a deal breaker for me, especially at this point. Amanza Smith. Oh boy. I just never understood Amanza because she always complains about being a single mom and not having enough resources for her children, and I would completely understand and sympathize with that. However, when she's complaining about this stuff, she's wearing Chanel chokers and just dripping in designer. I mean, I can't take it seriously.
Christine's a pathological liar. I don't believe anything that she says.
If you can spend $10,000 on a necklace and some bracelets, you can pay for your kid's nanny. She's definitely a flip-flopper on the show. She goes from hating Christine to loving Christine to hating Christine and so on. I would equate her to Maya, where she tries to be neutral, but it's just not working. Which finally brings me to Christine Quinn, our villain. The show wouldn't be Selling Sunset without her. There wouldn't be a Selling Sunset without her. Does she cause unnecessary drama? Yes.
Christine went into the whole group and was like mimicking you.
Wow.
Does she have beef with literally 90% of the other agents? Yes.
I'm not doing this anymore. Why not? You guys are making fun of me.
Is she usually the one instigating the drama? Honestly, yeah.
She was nothing but, you know, a nightmare for me.
Wow.
But Christine knows what she's doing, and I respect her for it. I mean, she said it on multiple interviews that the reason she plays the villain is because she knows the show needs one. The producers have even encouraged her to take on this role. Reality TV is rooted in drama, whether we like it or not.
That you are very responsible for the show's success. So between me and you, do you agree?
I absolutely agree.
So the other cast members can cry all they want about how Christine is mean to them, but honestly, the show wouldn't exist without her. There wouldn't be a plot line, period. With our core 7 established, dynamics and relationships quickly change in the Oppenheim group. It's clear that when we started season 1, Christine and Mary were best friends.
She did bring a basket of dog toys, so
I know, such a kiss-ass move.
And Chrishell was originally the odd one out. However, quickly Chrishell almost became the center of attention, and everyone in the group started gravitating towards her and away from Christine. And from first impressions in season 1, you honestly think that Christine and Chrishell are going to be good friends, but that only lasts about 5 minutes.
When I ask you, what did you say?
Don't yell at me.
When I ask you,
Okay,
what
hold
did you
on.
say?
Hold on.
You
Yes,
don't
take it down.
own up.
Yeah, they argue over dumb crap that ends up just being minor miscommunication. Did Christine take it too far with the screaming? Definitely. Did Christine know that the cameras were rolling and this was going to make great television? Most definitely.
Or do you still have dementia?
Look, I'm not going to invalidate Chrishell's feelings or anything, because if someone yelled at me at a party like that, I'd probably feel some type of way too. But the fact that Christine honestly tries to apologize a few times after the incident and Chrishell just doesn't even want to talk to her, it's sort of like, okay, but you guys work together and this is literally your job, to make drama for Netflix.
I'd love to give you a hug. You don't have to give me a hug, but I'd love to.
Hi, how are you?
I'd love to give you a hug.
If Chrishell wants nothing to do with this toxic reality show stuff, then she should honestly work at a real estate group that isn't being filmed. The way I see it, if Christine isn't causing the beef, then someone else has to. After all, the show is literally 85% drama and focused on the girls' personal lives, and maybe 15% of it is actually focused on selling houses. And that's a generous 15%. Slowly but surely, as the series progresses, the girls start to form a group with the exception of Christine and kinda Davina. I mean, like I said, Davina tries to play both sides, but low-key no one wants her. And this brings us to our next real estate agent who we meet in season 4, Vanessa, a Mexican-American novella star.
I want to talk
stop
with you.
No, stop.
Every day just gets crazier and crazier.
Now, to be fair, she doesn't provide that much to the show, but let me tell you, when I first met her, I loved her. She's not the best realtor, but she does have a touching backstory about her sister, and she is just so freaking nice. Like, you can feel how positive and genuine she is through the screen, and not in a Chrishell sort of way. As a newcomer, she doesn't exactly know the dynamics of the workplace, aka she doesn't know that everyone hates Christine, so Christine sees this as an opportunity and immediately befriends her. And this is probably what made season 4 one of my my favorites. It's so satisfying to see the meanest girl on the show and the nicest girl on the show just hitting it off. But this doesn't last too long as a huge meltdown happens at Jason's party in the season finale, and this basically solidifies everyone's hatred for Christine even more than before.
I love you. She shows up 3 hours late. She's useless.
Heather, do you want to talk to me privately?
And at this point, even Vanessa feels like she can't jump to Christine's defense anymore. Which brings me to Emma, aka Christine's rival.
Have you met Kristen?
I did. Oh, when did you guys meet?
One thing I've noticed about Emma is that she likes to brag a lot. We learned that Christine's ex-boyfriend apparently cheated on her with Emma, but Emma claims that this isn't true and that Christine is twisting the story.
I was with him for 2.5 years. He proposed to me. He proposed to you? Yes.
And honestly, I'm not sure who to believe. Christine does have a tendency to exaggerate stories for the sake of the show, but she obviously isn't pulling this out of thin air, so there must be some truth to both sides.
So because you're gonna be gone and out of the office, I'm gonna bring Emma in full time.
Wow.
I hope you see it as a professional decision.
And again, at this point, everyone already doesn't like Christine. So adding Emma, who actually has a valid reason to not like her, was the icing on the cake that got Christine yeeted from the show. Unless a miracle happens. Chelsea Laskiny. Bro, I love Chelsea. She definitely filled the spot that Vanessa left behind, because when I tell you that Vanessa's character was non-existent in season 5, it's an understatement. She ends up getting a boyfriend and just goes MIA. Again, as a newcomer, Chelsea isn't quite sure what to expect, but immediately her and Christine hit it off. They're both successful, powerful, and rich as hell.
I don't think these bitches are ready because we are about to take over. Black and blonde Barbie.
But sadly, there can't be a season of Selling Sunset without the girls ganging up on Christine. In season 5, episode 4, Christine and Chelsea have a caviar and couture party, which turns into a let's attack Christine night.
I'm not delusional. It's just so... You are delusional.
I mean, it's 7 of the girls just bashing her. And it's like, is now the time to have an argument? At a work event? Clearly, Amanza started the fight in this situation, and then everyone decided to step in when they have potential clients around. It's just so unprofessional, and it's like, wrong place, wrong time. And Chelsea single-handedly ends all of them with this comment.
When I hear everyone coming at one person, it's giving me bullying.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't really think it matters if the girls don't like Christine or if they don't vibe with her. 7 people attacking one person is just not justifiable in any situation. The whole reason they're doing all this is because she sent an extravagant gift to Heather at her bridal party, and they didn't like it.
Who's this from? From Christine.
That gift was to make sure that her presence was known.
And throughout making this video, I find myself flabbergasted. Unintentionally, I've spent the majority of this video talking about Christine and all the other characters' relationships with her. I didn't go too deep into Jason and Chrishell, or Mary and Chrishell's friendship, or even Davina and Adnan's relationship, and trust me, that one's a mess. And it's just because they're not as interesting as Christine. And this finally brings us to the present day. And by now, you may have heard that Christine will not be joining Selling Sunset for season 6 and 7.
Since announcing that you're not coming back to Selling Sunset, how are you feeling? Do you feel relieved?
Oh, I feel so relieved.
And I'm just curious how the show expects to operate without Christine in it. I mean, it's fair to say that this has been a long time coming considering the girls can't even stand to be in the same room as Christine, and she even sat out the season 5 reunion when the entire cast was present. But I honestly believe that the show will come to an end after season 7 because I don't know how interesting it's gonna be without our villain. I mean, personally, she's the main reason I watch the show. If the entire series was about Jason and Chrishell and Heather and Tarek, I just wouldn't watch because those plot lines are the filler. I just wish that the other girls, aka Chrishell, Mary, Heather, just all understood that they're on reality TV. They don't have to like Christine outside of the show. They don't have to hang out with her. But can everyone just acknowledge the part they play in this Netflix drama reality series? I keep saying it, but you need your villain for the show to continue. If it's not Christine, it's gonna be someone else.